is opening the bowling for St. John's. St. John's had a disappointing final game yesterday, where they're convincingly beaten by Peterhouse. Tawana comes in, and that's flashed away. Well fielded in the covers, but they're home through for the first single. The scoreboard gets ticking, a one without loss. Chisango, just what is your background?
So I was here at St. George's for 6 years. I was predominantly an opening bowler, but I did bat from time to time. And I played this tournament last year. It was very exciting. It's a great opportunity for young players, and yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, it's important to keep the youngsters playing the game. And Tawana Zamunga comes in. It's flicked off their legs. That's going to be 4 runs. Great shot. Call for Yun gets off the mark. He's on 4. It was well played off the legs there. 6 without loss. We're in the first over. Very impressed with both Daniel Makings and Cole William yesterday as they were batting. And Hellenic have gone unscathed through the tournament, and it's going to be see how they handle a St. John's team who've got nothing to prove. They got a chance to just build back some respect, and that ball goes through, beats the bat. Very impressed yesterday with young Luke Van Zyl. Opened the bowling and 2 quick wickets. Fair amount of pace. It's plus the Patel brothers. There's a lot of talent in this Hellenic side. That's a short pitch ball, hits him on the pads, but umpire's not interested. Call goes up to 7. So Chutunga, what's it going to take to keep youngsters, especially pace bowlers, guys who got your height and I should imagine the ball comes from quite a height with your arm extended. What is it going to take to keep you playing cricket and potentially putting your name at the forefront of Zim?
I think, for me personally, just being in the game, just having opportunities to play, I think is probably the most important thing. I think having tournaments like this, even the John's tournament, playing throughout the year, just getting kids playing cricket for a consistent amount of time is a good thing.
Sure, well, that's the end of the first over. There was 2 runs there to Colville Yun. Score goes up to 9 without loss of the first over. These 2 batsmen look quite comfortable. But yeah, I think that's the youngsters, they leave school, they go to university, they either stop playing cricket because they're following their career, or they get a chance to play representative cricket in the country of their choice of university, and then they're pretty much lost to the system. And I think hopefully the ZCU will offer the potential that these youngsters have a chance to put their name forward to being considered for any future Zimbabwe cricket teams. Obviously home is home, and cricketers guys come back to their families. But it's vital that we keep the talent going, and very impressed with the Zimbabwe Chevrons, even though they didn't quite make it the World Cup. We've now got John Bernardi coming in. He was a bit woeful yesterday, spreading the ball wide, number of wides. So let's hopefully today that he gets the ball on line and length. Coming from his height, I should imagine. Pretty much probably the same height as Chatonga, yeah? What are you, 6'4", 6'5"? 6'4". So John Bernardi comes steaming in, left arm over the wicket, and that's a pretty wide ball. First off, seems to have continued where he left off yesterday. So now what I saw in schoolboy cricket is the captain, the vital role of the captain, talking to his bowler, coming up to him, giving him advice. I saw that in play with Windhoek yesterday. The captain was very vocal, keeping his players on their toes. John Bernardi comes in, and that's played off into the covers. No run. Yeah, Chitonga, I mean, when you played, did you, the role of the captain and the schoolboy, I mean, there should be a lot of respect for the captain picked by the coach. Was that the case? Did the captain do the talking and help edify the bowlers?
I think for me personally, my captain Luciano did a great job. He fielded a mid-on, so he talked to me almost, every ball. If I was kind of losing my way, he always came up to me and helped me kind of reset and realize what I needed to do, because it's very easy to forget basics when you're playing in a tournament like this.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's so important that the bowler, the fielder, they feel that the captain's got them, that he's talking to them, he's inspiring them. The worst thing is when the players' heads go down, especially the bowler if he's not bowling well. Score is 10 for 0. Daniel Makings on 3 and Colville Ewan on 4. And that's played beautifully off his legs, down to fine leg. Just a single. Score goes up to 11. Let's hope the crowd comes out in the numbers today. It's finals day. Just to back up the sponsors who put a lot of money into supporting and putting up their tents and corporate lunches. Let's hope Zimbabweans come out for a bit of sunshine, a bit of cricket, a bit of fun. John Bernardi now bowling to Daniel Makings. Very powerful little lad. I watched him yesterday flicking the ball off his toes for 6. That ball's coming from quite a height. Just plays it out. Eleven without loss. Colville Ewan on 5 from 6 and Daniel Makings 3 from 5. Oh, that beats the bat. It's a good ball. Rising. Bassam swished at it. Luckily missed it, I would say. Score stays at 11 without loss. St. John's bowling and Hellenic getting off to a slow but steady start. Oh, that's flashed again, hits him on the pads. I'm assuming it looked like the pads, just waiting for the umpire to confirm. But it looked like it must have come off the bat. So score is 12 without loss after 2 overs. I'm going to hand over the next commentary for the next over to Chitonga. And yeah, take it away.
Tawana Jumunga back. It's bowled as second over of the day. Daniel Makings still on 4 of 7. Good backward drive, but it only finds the fielder. No run there. Hellenic have a good opportunity to score runs here in the power play. Has a swipe at it, doesn't go anywhere. There's a bit of movement here. Early in the morning. Tawana doesn't have a fast action, but has enough movement to deceive the batsman. And Hellenic scurries for a single. Puts Cole on strike. I have the pleasure of playing with Cole for a club called Rangers. Once he gets himself set, I think he can make some big scores. And it's up. Who has it? And the keeper takes an amazing catch. As the first wicket of the day, the dangerous Cole goes out for 5 runs. Score now 13 for 1 wicket.
Yeah, that's called the commentator's curse, just talking about how solid they stand. But great catch by the wicketkeeper there. And that's Hellenic losing their first wicket, 13 for 1. And that's Tawona Zamunga getting his first wicket, and the second over, 1 for 9. So the current run rate, 4.88, and projected score at this stage, 98. I'm sure that will be extended as the batsmen get their iron. Ronak Patel is the new batsman coming to the crease. Very impressed with the way he looked yesterday. Very talented all-rounder, also with the ball. And him and his brother, yeah, that looked good batting together. Let's see if Ronak can get his head iron. And between the two of these, should form a solid foundation for Hellenic. No need to panic. Early days, the ball's moving around. Ronak Patel gets his guard. Tawona Zamunga comes steaming in. Bowls the ball. Bat to ball. Nothing to report. And you can see the St. John boys in the field. The energy is up. The tails are up. Bit of energy. It just takes a bit of activity, a wicket, and it changes the whole aspirations of the team. Tawona Mazunga coming in now to bowl. That plays off, that's in the field, and that's another wicket gone, and that's Ronak Patel. Oh, what a disaster for Hellenic. What a disaster for Hellenic. Ronak Patel out without scoring, and Hellenic now face 13 for 2 wickets, and St. John's on a high.
It was a great position for St. John's, getting out the dangerous Ronak Patel. Hellenic are in a bit of bother here. The over up for St. John's. 4 overs gone now, 2 wickets down. Matthew Skonkin now takes the crease. Captain of Hellenic. Be interesting to see what Hellenic does here now. That's a no ball. That'll be a free hit for Hellenic. This could be the spark they need to get their innings off to a flyer. Daniel Making's on strike. See where this goes. Slow ball from the bowler. Daniel Making's only, it's a mistake by the fielder. Allows Hellenic to come back for the third. That's 3 runs. Bit disappointing there from the fielders, but it's something of consolation for Hellenic. Matthew Skonken now on strike, facing his first ball. Hellenic are up to 17 now for 2. And he hits it up, but doesn't reach the fielder. They don't take a run off it as well. So John B doing well, all things considered. Has a bit of movement here in the power play. Matthew Skonken needs to get himself in quickly. And that's a beautiful strike. That'll find the boundary. That's a 6. And Matthew Skonken is off the mark. That was a beautiful stroke.
Yeah, talk about getting your innings off to a flying start. It's a beautifully timed shot. Hardly looked as if he hit it. Used the pace of the ball. And it's vital that these two, Daniel and Matthew, who opened yesterday, get this innings and get the runs on the board to set a viable target for St. John's. It's turned off the legs. Fielder's descending in. Just a single. Puts Matthew Skonken on 7. And Daniel Making's back facing the strike. Much better start by John Bernardi. Yesterday there was a number of wides. Obviously the coach has got together with him and practice. Much better line and length and a fair amount of pace. And John Bernardi comes steaming in. Left arm over the wicket. That's rising and moving outside the off stump. Batsman shoulders arms and lets it go through. It's vital to keep the field active, the captain moving the fielders around to set the field, applicable to what the batsmen are up to. John Bernardi comes steaming in. That's flashed away, and that's misfielded again by St. John's. It's going to go running towards the boundary. They're running 2. They possibly look for the 3rd. And yes, hesitation there. Ball comes in, hits the umpire. Oh dear. That should be the end of the over. They're in consultation. St. John's 26 for 2. Daniel Making's on 10 and Matthew Skonken on 7.
Hellenic had a bit of a better over in the last over. They're up to 26 for 2 now. They just need to keep the scoreboard ticking, especially in the power play. As Taona runs into ball, and it's cut away down to, it's a misfield. And it crosses the boundary. That's 4 runs. That's poor by the fielder there. And that's a break of luck finally for Hellenic. They're up to 30 now for 2. Not a special shot, just cut away down to 3rd man, but the fielder handed Hellenic some vital runs there. Taona Jimunga won't be happy with that one. Runs in again now. It's a beautiful drive. And that is 4 more. That is excellent. Much better for Matthew Skonkin. He's really getting into his business here. They are up to 34 now for 2. As you can see, just a beautiful cover drive through the gap. And that is much more like it from Hellenic. Tawana Rimunga now under a bit of pressure. 8 runs off his first 2 balls of the over. Tries a slow one and still cut away. Will that be 4 more? Yes, it will. And that is 3 boundaries now in the over. Skonkin really taking it to the bowler now. 38 now for 2. A beautiful cut shot. Waits for it, plays it late, and it races away. This is exactly what Hellenic needed. And he tries again, but this time it's a dot, much to the relief of Tawana Rimunga. Still a great opportunity here for Hellenic. Their tails are up, scoring freely. Tawana Rimunga needs to do well to restrict any more runs from this over. Now he's gone off to a flyer. And that is a dot, another dot. It's better now from Tawana Rimunga. Slowed it down, pulled the pace back just a bit. Hasn't given Matthew Skonkin the width he wants, so he can't use that one. 1 ball to go in the over. 12 off it. Runs in. Oh, and that's a beauty to end the over. Just passes the bat. And now Hellenic got 38 for 2 after 5 overs.
So we got a change of bowler coming in. We got Vishal Chauhan coming into Chauhan coming into bowl. Hellenic 38 for 2. Matthew Skonkin on 19 from 9, and Daniel Makings 10 from 14. Change of pace, change of action. Looks like it's right arm off spin. First ball from Vishal, lofts it up. Tries to turn around the corner, but it's issued wide by the umpire. Score goes on to 39. And that was something which the first day on Friday noticed the number of wides and extras, especially from teams like St. George's. Vishal Chauhan now comes in, bowls slightly shorter. Hits it into the covers, fielded, no run. Certainly there were the amount of extras was just a visible flaw in the fielding. Yesterday was much better from both teams. All the teams are playing. And let's hope today in the finals that the wides and the no balls and that are eliminated. Better teams on the weekend making it to the finals. Daniel Makings on strike. Vishal comes to bowl, flights it up. And that's hooked over the bowler's head, and that's going to run for 4. Puts the score on 43. Daniel Makings on 14. Current run rate 7.31 and projected score 146. I would think St. John's in their batting would want to make amends for yesterday. And I think probably a score of 160, 170 is a defendable target by Hellenic. But that's played out through the covers. On the offside fielder, they're coming, think about a second. Wise decision not to, as the throw came right into the bowler's hands. Matthew Skonkin on strike. Cuts the ball away. Well fielded in the covers. Vishal Chohan comes into bowl again. Flights the ball up. Matthew Skonkin on drive. Straight back to the bowler. And that's the end now of the 6th over. Hellenic 44 for the 2 wickets. Bit of a change of pace there, flighting the ball. Batsman has to come and watch the pitch of the ball and make sure that he covered his wickets. Whereas the fast bowler, the ball coming onto you, you got time to, the general, use the pace of the ball, not aim to feed the ball. And change the bowler again now. Going into the 6th over now.
New bowler in. It's a bit of pace there, but it's driven to the deep. That's 1 run. Bit of a loosener there, a bit short, but gets away with it. No. It's Matthew Skonkin now on strike. What's he gonna do? He's in good nick. He's taking a liking to the pace. It's a block for no run. Just trying to get used to it here. Bowler has a bit of pace behind him. Bowling just back of a length. Seems to be effective thus far. Matthew Skonkin will need to be quite innovative to score some runs off him. And it's bowled. Just that unique action. Just get it off the turf. Back of a length and it hits top of off. That's a big wicket for St. John's here. The big fish of Matthew Skonkin. He goes away. It's a beautiful ball, top of off. That's what you want from a pace bowler. Hellenic are in a bit of spot of bother here. Good pressure created from St. John's. Great fielding, especially in the 30-yard, and it's resulted in a wicket. New batsman inside, under a bit of pressure. St. John's have their tails up. Some great bowling here. Hellenic 3 down now, 45. Patel now, right-hander. Could be quite dangerous here. Connor Lovett, the bowler. Extremely good figures thus far. 1 wicket for 1 run. This is a great start for him. We'll see what Patel does in this over. And he leaves it immediately. That's great bowling from Connor Lovett. He has really brought back St. John's into the game. Hellenic were going quite well with their captain, but he is out now, so Hellenic could be in a spot of bother. And that's another wicket there. Pitched a bit fuller, straight on the stumps, and that's another one. Hellenic are 4 down now. That's a great ball. Through the defenses. Batsman tries to block it, goes straight through. Bit of movement, pitched a bit fuller. That's a great ball. Bit of nip on the outside. That hits the off stump. This is great bowling here from Connor Lovett.
Yeah, that's what a change from yesterday. Fantastic bowling by Connor Lovett. I'd say he's a little bit quicker than and medium. Puts the ball down, there's a bit of movement off the pitch. But the main thing is line and length. And you're basically putting it out there and leaving the batsman to make a rash shot. But you can't take anything away from a perfect length from Connor Lovett. He's got figures 2 for 1 so far. Still one more ball to go in the over. And Hellenic now on the ropes. I don't know quite what Daniel Making is going to have to take the lead. He's going to have to harvest a lot of the bowling and put a respectable score on the scoreboard for St. John's to chase. One more ball to go in Connor Lovett's over. Just trying to find out who the next batsman is. Michael Westhoff. I think he got a first ball duck yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Connor Lovett coming in now. Bounces the ball, it plays off a rising ball. Takes a single and keeps a strike. Score goes on now to 46. That's the end of the fantastic over for Connor Lovett. 2 for 2. Great start, and St. John's have got their tails up now. Big shout for the sponsors, Cabs, the main sponsor, and various sponsors, too numerous to mention. But it's just so good to see so many companies supporting cricket, especially schoolboy cricket. I reiterate, if you're watching the live feed, nothing better than coming down to the ground. Come and watch what tends to be an exciting morning of cricket, the finals. And this game is on tender hooks. Hellenic now have to dig themselves out of this one. Daniel Makings has got to be the centre pivot. Looking pretty solid so far, while all before him have come and gone. Michael Westhoff takes strike. Spin bowler of Chauhan. Vishon Chauhan. 6 off his first over. Flights the ball up, and that's that's a rash shot there from Michael Westhoff. You got to get your eye in, mate. You got to bat, watch the ball, see what the flight of the ball's doing, the pitch. And obviously coming in at number 6, you're feeling under pressure because your team doesn't got many runs on the board, and that's a bit of a agricultural shot there. Gets away with it. Score stays on 46 for 4. Shall come there, and that's played again. Field is chasing it, they're coming back for the second. Should be easy pickings. Takes the score to 48 now, and Michael Westhoff on to 3. Oh, that was short run indicated, so only 1 run off that. Oh, this ball seems to be doing quite a bit. Michael Westhoff is a bit of all over the place and trying to judge the flight and spin of the ball. Comes into bowl again, flights it up. Michael Westhoff. What's an exciting over. Michael Westhoff seems to be all over the place there. 47 for 4 after 8 overs. And Masku Skonkin looked good, and 19 from 13 balls. It's up to Daniel Makings now to take Hellenic through to what hopefully is a respectable score.
Yeah, great last over. Great pressure being created by St. John's here. Hellenic under a bit of pressure, and they need to pick themselves up now. Daniel Makings on strike. He'll have to be the man to do it for Hellenic at this moment in time. 16 off 19 for him, but the dangerous Connor Lovett is back for second over of the day. An excellent first over from Connor Lovett. Brought Johns right back into it. So this will be a good contest. He tries to guide it for one, but to no avail. That's a dot ball. More pressure now from Connor Lovett. Connor bowling extremely well here. Daniel Makins needs to find a plan soon. Remains on strike, 16 off 20 balls now. Oh, Connor keeps doing the business for St. John's College. That is a third wicket for him now. Hellenic are 5 down. That's a brilliant ball. Again, pitched up, a bit of pace. Again, bowled. That is brilliant from Connor Lovett. 5 down now. Again, pitched up, bit of pace, bit of nip. And that's a brilliant ball once again from Connor Lovett. He has really changed the game for St. John's now. They are in the driving seat.
Yeah, I mean, this is a brilliant bowling spell from Connor Lovett. Faster than medium, quite a bit of pace, line and length, and just doing what you expected every do to do as a bowler. Line and length, make the batsman play the ball, let the pitch do the talking, and yeah, Hellenic under some serious pressure now, 47 for 5. 2 new batsmen in the crease. We're getting towards the 10th over, and projected score at this stage 113. But let's wait to see who's coming out to bat at the moment. If I'm not mistaken, it's Mr. Young Matthew Landman, who batted very well yesterday. I was very impressed with his batting. Took Hellenic through to a respectable total, and a lot of pressure on him now. And that ball rises, it's played off the bat, it's trickled down, it's going to make it to the boundary, 4 runs. And that brings up the 50 for Hellenic. Normally celebrated, but I think at 51 for 5, Hellenic now all they're thinking about is putting a decent score on the scoreboard. Ball glancing off the bat and running down to fine leg for 4. Connor Lovett comes into bowl. Batsman leaves it. Just watching that action, the ball, a fair amount of movement. You'd expect that early morning with the dew on the pitch and the atmosphere. Wind moving across the ground. Connor Lovett coming now. 2 balls left in the over. Slower ball, well disguised. Batsman saw it though. Just let it shouldered arms and let the ball go through to the wicketkeeper. Connor Lovett, 3 wickets for 6 runs into his second over. Hellenic, 51 for 5. They needed this test. They've won all their games so far, quite convincingly. Facing a rejuvenated St. John's side who got well defeated yesterday by Peterhouse. And they've gone through for a single there. Takes the score to 52 at the end of 9 overs. Extras 5. 52 for 5 with Michael Westhoff on 2 and Matthew Landman on 5.
Vishal Chauhan back for his 3rd over of the day. Bowling quite well. Getting quite a bit of spin on this surface. Batsman finding it extremely difficult to put him away. Tries to guide it down. But that's another dot here. Johns have really tightened it up here in the field and with the ball.
It flighted up and punched into the covers. Well fielded. Easy single. Just other scores going around the ground. CBZ batting first after 7 overs of 56 for 1 versus St. George's. St. George's have got a chance to redeem themselves as the host school. Team has got everything to play for to get the first victory. Prince Edward, after 9 overs, 76 for no wicket, playing Churchill. I wonder if that batsman who scored 180 odd for Prince Edward, out of a score of 234 for 4, I'm wondering when he comes into bat. 53 for 5 now as Chowun flights the ball up, scoops up for the bat. Misfielder there by St. John's. They're coming back for the second, and that's great running by Hellenic, and it's going to have to take these chances. But again, misfielding. It's a key that I've picked up here, is the quality of the fielding has got a lot to improve. Fantastic catches, some odd events of runouts, but in general, the misfieldings and the overthrows and the not backing up the bowler or the wiki is one of the key pointers that I'll take out of this, is where the coaches need to work on.
I think that's right. I think some players just forget the basics here, get a bit nervous, I guess. It affects their game. That's a quick single there from Hellenic. Oh, bit of a poor throw. St. George's just need to calm down now in the field. Just as was stated, the nerves can get the better of you here. You just need to reset. Remember the basics, yeah. I think we have 1 ball to go here in the over. Hellenic need to get a move on now. 56 for 5 are Hellenic at this stage. And Matthew and Michael Westhoff need to carry the team to a respectable total here. And that sperms through the wicket keeper, runs away. And the batsmen run back for the second. It's 58 now for 5, after 10 overs now. So after a decent start by Hellenic, they have really lost their way all through the hands of Connor Lovett. They'll do well to get a good score here. Connor Lovett is back again for his 3rd over. And that's not good news for Hellenic. Bowling brilliantly here. 3 wickets for 7 runs in his 2 overs. Oh. And batsman just sperms that away. Down to the 3rd man region for 1. Pace is really affecting the Hellenic batsman here. Connor Lovett just interchanging between his shorter balls, which have quite a bit of pace on them, and those fuller ones, wicket-taking deliveries. Runs in again. Tries that fuller one, but it's wide. It's worked well for him thus far, but just strays on this occasion. Still has every reason to be confident though. 3 wickets for 9. He's doing quite well. Great performance from him. And he pulls the length back, straighter now, but the batsmen get it away for 1 run. Michael Westhoff now on strike, 6 off 11. Not a great strike rate, all things considered. Don't think it's going to get much better if he's facing Connor Lovett here. Three runs off the over so far. Runs in again. Tries that fuller ball, but it's driven, goes through, and that's 4 runs. Much needed boundary. Connor Lovett was bowling quite well, but spurned away full toss. Again, that fuller ball, wicket-taking delivery, but turns into a full toss and is driven away for 4 runs. Hellenic needed that one. They're up to 65 for 5 now. Michael Westhoff now, 10 runs off 12 balls. Connor Lovett for the first time now has a bit of pressure on him. We'll see how he deals with it now. Pulls the length back. Matthew Westhoff tries to guide it down, but it doesn't go away. That's a no ball. Connor Lovett now just feeling the pressure. Michael Westhoff now has a free hit here. Connor's been bowling really well, but that no ball won't help him at all. And it's a slow ball, and that's great bowling from Connor Lovett. That's a dot ball. Really adjusted to the situation there. Really great bowling from Connor Lovett. 2 balls left now in the over. Hellenic are 66 for 5. And so it's that full ball again, but this time goes to a sweeper. That's 1 run. Bit of an expensive over here from Connor Lovett, all things considered. But it's his last ball now. Will do well to restrict Hellenic here. Matthew on strike now, 9 off 8. Just getting it ticking here. Ball stopped, will go again. Connor Lovett now, last ball of the over. Hellenic have done reasonably well. It's another shorter one. And Matthew L gets off the mark again. 1 run off that. That's the over. 68 now for 5 after 11 overs. Bit better for Hellenic, but still a lot to do here.
Yeah. So the current run rate is 6.18 and projected score at this stage 124. Michael Westhoff's got his iron now, 11 off 15, and Matthew Landman 10 from 9. This is the foundation that Hellenic need to build on now to put a respectable score on the table. Vishal Chauhan now into his 4th and final over. Great to see him flight and the spin, making the batsman play the ball. And we could be in for an exciting final 9 overs of the Hellenic innings, especially when Matthew Landman gets his iron. Vishal comes into bowl, flights the ball, just cut into the covers, fielded, throw at the bowler's end, backing up, and again, there's the misfield I was speaking about. That side of the game that's just visible. But there again, we were talking earlier about the players coming out of the rugby season. And were you a rugby player? Soccer. And coming from rugby into cricket and the adjustments to the different techniques of the games. Just been reminded of what is so important for these youngsters is having mom and dad, their parents, their sisters, brothers watching them. Proud parents of their children and supporting them. A lot of traveling involved. I grew up in Mashringo where we had to travel for all our away games. So in Harare, when you got a lot of schools in and about the city centre and around the suburbs, it's great to be able to know that your parents can attend all the matches, home and away. Scores moved on to 72 for 5. And Vishal Chauhan. 2 balls left in his spell. Matthew Landman about to face. Ball's tossed up. Just plays the ball back down the wicket. No addition to the score. Not too much activity around the ground. Oh, that's a ball that beats the outside of the bat. And that's the end now of the 13th over. Sorry, the 12th over, 72 for 5, 7 extras. Connor Lovett is the pick of the bowlers so far, with I think they ended up on three wickets still for 21. Current run rate 6 and over, projected score 120. Great atmosphere the later part of yesterday with the cabs tent and corporate tent. People coming and going, watching the cricket, enjoying the social side. I must commend St George's on the state of the field and the grounds. Connor Lovett now in his final over. Oh, that beats the bat. Correction, Connor, 3 wickets for 17 off 3 overs. Great bowling. .72 for 5 wickets. Into the 13th over now. Connor Lovett comes around the wicket. That's flashed away. They're going to go for a quick single. They flash at the stumps. Field is throwing themselves to stop the ball from going through for any further. 73 for 5. Puts now Matthew Landman on strike on 13. It's important in this part of the game, 2020, to keep the strike rate over 100. Should never really have a situation where you've got a strike rate less than 100. Connor Lovett comes in over the wicket, bounces the ball. Matthew Landman takes evasive action, threw himself to the ground. The fielders love it, clapping their hands in support of the bowler. I should imagine you could put down a fair bouncer. Connor Lovett comes into bowl over the wicket, and that's a slower ball, well disguised. The batsman just watches it, shoulders, arms. No addition to the score. So for the innings, 7 fours and 1 6. Played away, no addition to the score. Partnership so far 26 of 28 balls. Important to keep the strike, to keep the runs turning, whether it's a single. Can't afford too many dot balls at this stage. Hellenic got to post a score that's defendable. Gonna love it, beautiful bowling action, I really enjoy, but that's a no ball. That's another free hit for Hellenic. Bowler just putting his foot over the line. Umpire just showing him the markings. Hearing some shouting from the field behind us, and George is playing. We'll get an update on the score there. And Connor Lovett coming in, which should be the final ball of his. Oh, and that's an attempted hoik to no avail, and that's the end of now the 13th over. And Hellenic 74 for 5. And that's the end of the bowling stats. Connor Lovett 3 for 19 off 4 overs. Taona Jamunga 2 for 21. And John Bernardi 0 for 16 off 2. Pick of the batsmen so far. Unfortunately, no one's really got to build their innings. The Hellenic batsmen looked as if they were on for a good innings, and some brilliant bowling by Connor Lovett put an end to their batting. But I think Matthew Landman and Michael Westhoff seem to have built a partnership here. It's important as you go into the last 7 overs. I would say looking about 8 and over at minimum. 56 makes the score around about 130. Projected score at the moment 114.
New bowler to the crease. Another spin bowler. Starts off with a wide, that's a loosener. Yeah. Michael Westhoff, Michael L. really need to galvanize this Hellenic side. We need to get a move on now. Projected score 114. That's a dot ball. Bit shorter. Batsman really needs to find something to do with that one. That's cut away through the gap. Could get 3 runs here. That's a boundary. That's 4 runs. That's very vital for Hellenic. Through the bat of Michael Westhoff. That's a great shot through the gap. Just waits for it, plays it late, and that runs away for 4. It's exactly what Hellenic needed at this point in time. Pitches it fuller. That's a good ball. Much better from the bowler. That's where he wants to operate there. Wants to keep the batsman guessing. Another one a bit shorter. He finds the gap. It's 1 run and 30 yard. Puts Matthew L on strike. 13 off 19. He needs to get a move on as well. Michael Westhoff has started the over reasonably well for Hellenic. But Matthew L needs to work together with his partner to create some runs here. And he tries a scoop there, doesn't come off. Needs to try everything now to score some runs here. St. John's are bowling quite well. Hellenic are 80 now for 5. Projected score 116. 1 ball to go in the over. And he tries 2 foot down, only gets it to long on. Bit of a fumble, but still a single. That's the over now. Hellenic now 81 for 5 after 14.
So we're going to have a change of bowling again from the school end. Michael Westhoff on 18 from 22 and Matthew Landman 14 from 21. Projected score at this stage 116. Bowler comes into bowl. Oh, that's going to be a no ball. First ball, no ball, so it's another free hit. I love watching the umpires singling a free hit. Looks like an ambulance siren above the head. Hopefully Michael Westhoff can take advantage of this one. And he does, and that ball is hit. It's going to be a massive hit. That's 6 runs. Great shot from Matthew Landman. Fantastic hit there. Spencer for the bowler. Michael B. I don't think it's Michael B. Waiting for the scorecard to update. Score goes on now to 81 for 5. And that's cut away into the deep, coming into field. Slight fumble again, but batsman through for a single. Puts the score now into 82. Bowler is Luke Mitchell, I think it is. Projected score now 124. Current run rate 6.21 per over. Michael Westhoff now on strike. Luke comes into bowl. Short pitch, slashed away. Attempted slash away, but safe into the wicky's gloves. Deceptive looking pace here from Luke. Nice easy run up, and then shoulder comes through. And that's lofted away. That's going to be 4 runs. Fantastic shot there from Luke. Played it to deep mid wicket. Fielders had no chances. That puts the score down to 89 for 5. That's the type of shot that Hellenic are looking at now. Comfortable from Michael Westhoff. 22 now for 24 balls. Michael Westhoff looked a bit edgy when he first came. The spinners had him a bit flummoxed, but he got his eye and he's become steady, and it looks quite solid. That's played again. Well fielded. Can't prevent a single. But that takes the score now to 94 for 5. Partnership 47 or 41. Is what Hellenic have needed, a foundation. So with 5 overs to go, the batsman's got the pressure, isn't so intense. They can play some shots and try and put a respectable score. That's a massive shot from Matthew Landman, way over the boundary. That's 6 runs. That's 6 runs way over the head of long off. And that takes the score up to 100. 101 now for 5. Matthew Landman, deja vu from yesterday. Some massive hitting from Matthew, and put a respectable score on the table. And that's also the 50 partnership with these 54 or 51 balls. Expensive over for Luke Mitchell. Short again, cut off, only the single. But Luke, that's going to be expensive. 21 runs off the over. Next batsman in is for Hellenic is Luke van Zyl. Interested to see him bat because he was on form yesterday with the ball, bowling at quite considerable pace, line and length. That's now the end of the 15th over, score 102 for 5. I see the Peterhouse boys are making their way into the ground. They should be next up. 136 is a projected score. Matthew Landman on strike.
Expensive last over for St. John's College. 102 for 5 now. Oh, that's another good shot. It's a great shot down the ground. I believe that's 4 more. There's now some really good hitting here by Hellenic, really picking up at strike rate. Projected score rising every single ball now. This partnership is beginning to come really dangerous. And that's another great shot down the ground. Matthew Landman up to 32 now of 26. Immediate pressure on the bowler. He'll do well to restrict the bombardment of runs that are sure to come here. Tries to guide that down, but that's a dot. Even so, Matthew Landman looking really dangerous here. Bit shorter from the bowler. Matthew Landman guides it down, finds a run. Good start in the over. 5 from it. Hellenic up to 107 now for 5. And that takes Michael West off. That's put him on strike. Tries to drive it down, finds the fielder. It's another dot ball. Hellenic have really picked up here, but still a lot to do. 107 for 5. Leaves it. Bit more pace on that ball by the bowler. One more ball in the over to go. Started well, slowed down. Bowlers really brought it back here for St. John's College. And he tries that big hit. Where's that going? That's over. That is a massive hit. That's 6 runs. Beautiful end to the over for Hellenic. And Michael Westhoff and Matthew Landman batting really well now. They've really leveled up for Hellenic, taken them to quite a good position. 113 now for 5 after 16. 4 more overs to go. We expect some big hitting.
So 4 overs to go in the Hellenic innings. Score 113 for 5. Matthew Landman on 33 and Michael Westhoff on 29. Really, really valuable partnership. Really valuable partnership. And I've got Doug Hellenic out of the mire. Tossed up and that's flashed away. It's high in the sky. The wielder coming in. And oh, there's that drop catch again. That's the life that most batsmen don't get. Fielder, I know how he feels. It's happened to all of us. You feel terrible on the time. And Kieran Blocknote is the new bowler. That ball was tossed up and should have got tuppence for 6. And comes in again. Better flight, and that's driven away. That's going to be dissect the 2 fielders. Fielder coming around. And they've got 2 comfortable runs to Matthew Landman. Takes him on to 37. And the score now on to 118 for 5. Kieran Blocknote comes in again. And that's flashed away again. Into the deep. And oh, the poor fielder is having a bad time in this over. He went to get the ball changed direction and went for 4. 122 now for 5. And Matthew Landman up to 41. And that's cut away. Fielder comes in. Easy single. Takes Matthew on to 42. The score now to 123. Projected score 149. Current run rate 7.45. These 2 can stay in, then Hellenic got a good chance to get higher than possibly even 150, 160 odd. It's a big ask, but the way they're hitting, the way they're seeing the ball, it should be. And that's driven away back past the bowler. Valiant effort from him to stop the ball. Long on comes along, picks up the ball, but they threw for 2 safe runs. Takes score now to 125. $125 for 5. And Michael Westhoff is on strike. Expensive over from Kian Blucknote. Toss that ball up, driven away, beautiful shot. Fielder coming around, fields this one. Through for 2 runs. Score goes up now to 127. 14 off this over so far, and this is the type of score that Hellenic need. If I'm not mistaken, I think Kian might be a son of the former Zimbabwe great Andy Blucknote, all-rounder. Flights that ball, driven again, straight to a fielder at mid-wicket. Score is 127 for 5 after 17 overs. Connor Lover 3 for 19, Tuono Zamunga 2 for 21, and John Bernardi didn't affect the stats. Looks a great prospect for the future. Tall, lanky, left arm, generates considerable pace. It looks like it's John Bernardi who's coming back on to finish off his last overs. 7.47 currently. Projected score 149.
Matthew Landman and Michael Westhoff really picked it up for Hellenic here. Put them in a decent position. 3 overs to go now in the game. In the inning, sorry. Matthew Landman on strike. And he tries to heave it. Bit of a slower one, that one. Deceive the batsman. That's a dot ball. Bowlers at this point in the game will do well to vary the pace, especially pace bowlers. Try to deceive the batsman. They're trying to get it over the boundary at all costs. So slowing it down, speeding it up would be quite ideal for them. As John B runs in. Another slow one. They try to run it, and it's just a miss there. Shy at the stumps. That was an opportunity for St. John's. But they get through for the single. Puts Michael Westhoff on strike. We know how dangerous he is. But John B just slowing the pace down, not giving the batsman much to work with. And that's another great ball. Pitched a bit shorter. Has a bit of nip. Bounces a bit, deceives the batsman. That's another dot ball. John B bowling quite well here. Towards the back end of the innings. Only 1 run off his first 3 balls. 3 more to go. We assume he's going to keep with the strategy of slowing down the ball. That's another slow ball, and it does the job once again. For St. John's, this is great bowling here. Slowing the ball right down. Matthew Lamond just runs to his partner just to give him a bit of advice how to put away that one. John B bowling exceptionally well. 128 for 5. Runs in again. Bit more pace. That goes through. They get 2 here. And they do. They run back for the second. They get there comfortably. Takes the score to 130 for 5 now. Last ball of the over. John B has bowled well under the circumstances. Switched up the pace. Runs in. And that is another dot ball to end the over. Well, great fielding towards the end there. That's a great over from John B. 130 for 5 now. Oh, it's a no ball. It's a free hit now. For Michael Westhoff could salvage this over. They've really struggled here, but they have an opportunity to redeem themselves. And that goes up. Where's that going? That is 6 runs. That's a great shot. Taking advantage of the no ball once again. That's a big one. Takes the score now to 136 for 5, I believe. That's the over.
Yeah, it's good to see the batsman take advantage of these free hits. I think that's the second free hit in a row that's gone for 6. But great batting from Michael Westhoff. That should take him to 41, and the score now to 137. Just quick updates for the other games going on around the various fields here at St. George's. We've got CBC batting first after 14 overs, 116 for 5 versus St. George's College. And we've got Prince Edward after 16 overs, 131 for 4, playing against Churchill. 2 overs left to go. So 152 is the projected target. Current run rate 7.61. And I think with Michael Westhoff on 41 from 36 and Matthew Landman 43 from 34, we've got 2 batsmen that are well set. And they should, I would imagine, 10 and over from here would be an acceptable target. The bowlers will try and do everything they can to prevent that from happening. But nothing to lose for Hellenic. And they're going to feel if they can put 155, they're going to have a target that they can have a good go at defending. That's batsman seems all over the place for that one. Didn't quite know where the ball went. Tawana Zamunga, 3.1 overs, 2 for 21. Matthew Skonkin destroyed his figures with 3 successive 4s. Comes in again, that's on the line, that's a massive hit. High in the air, fielder coming underneath it and takes a comfortable catch. And that's the end of Matthew Landman. Great catch by the fielder. Great technique. And that's the 3rd wicket now for Taona Zamunga. And Hellenic have now lost their 6th wicket on 137. Once again, a shout for the umpires with various fields, standing in the middle in the hot sun, watching and making decisions. But I know the level of umpiring in this country is of a high standard. I had the privilege of interviewing Langton Rosiri, who's Zimbabwe's premier umpire at the moment. He's umpired at a whole lot of international games, from 2020 to a 50-over game and to Test cricket. And he's a sample of what can be done if you put your mind to it. Just waiting for confirmation of the new batsman taking his guard. Looks like it's Malachi Harry. He had a great spell of bowling yesterday. Highest score, 50 runs. In comes Tawana Zamunga over the wicket, and that's appeal for LBW, but umpire's not interested, walks away. Score stays at 137. So he's gone up to 138. Malachi off the mark. Love the name Malachi. Michael Westhoff now must see his anchor roll to get Hellenic through, definitely to above 150. That will be, I would imagine, a defendable target. Tawana comes in, easy action over the ball, and that's attempted swing, and it's going to run through. Fielder coming in, it's going to be probably buys. Yep, leg buys indicated by the umpire. Score goes to 139. And Malachi Harry on strike. 2 balls to go in this over, and then we in the last over of the innings. Tawana comes in, bowling to Malachi, and that's slashed away. Fielder coming in, restricts it to a single, and that's 140 for 6 now. Malachi on 2, Michael Westhoff on 41. 1 ball to go in the over. I think it's vital that Michael Westhoff takes a single, or wouldn't say no to a 4 or a 6, but certainly keeps a strike for the next over. Tawana comes in, puts the ball down, Michael Westhoff, and that looks like it's a no ball. It's going to be a free hit again. Free hit, it looks like it. There goes the sirens again. Scores are 143 for 6. Can Michael Westhoff take advantage of another free hit? Made an excellent hit on the last over for 6 runs. And that's a wide again. So obviously the pressure on the bowler. Score goes to 144. Still another ball. Resumption of the resumption of the free hit. 144 for 6. Michael Westhoff on 43 from 38, and Malachi Harry 2 from 2 balls. Tawana comes in, bowls the ball, and that's slashed away. Attempted slash away. Straight through to the bowler. That's the end of the 19th over. 144 for 6. Tawana Munga ends on 3 for 27. Connor Lover 3 for 19. John Bernardi 0 for 26 off 3. John Mark Bernardi going to finish the innings, bowling the last over for St. John's. Malachi Harry going to be taking the strike. .152 is still a projected score. I wonder if Michael Westhoff has any say on that. 8 runs needed in this order to reach that projected target. I think it's a landmark. 150 in the book is a defendable target, especially with their opening bowling lineup. Luke Van Zyl was in sensational form yesterday. And I think young Mr. Mantle was also, I think he took 3 wickets. Fair amount of pace in the Hellenic opening bowlers. John Bernardi comes steaming in. Batsman's left a bit flummoxed. Ball goes through to the wicketkeeper, and this is where Hellenic need to put all balls to the wall there. They can't afford to be playing and missing. Play your shot, go for it. Try and get Michael Westhoff on strike. It so often happens in this time of the game when the batsmen are set and you've got more of a tail ender in and they just can't seem to get off strike. And that's the pole played. They're going to take a single there. Puts the score on 145, exactly what Michael Westhoff would have wanted. He's got 4 balls now to try and increase that score. Certainly to try and reach the 150 mark. And that's flashed out the off stump. Left arm batsman, left arm bowler. And this isn't the final over that Hellenic would have wanted. I'm going to hand over to my associate to finish the last 3 balls.
Brilliant bowling here from John B. Varying the pace quite nicely. Bit more pace on that previous delivery. And he slows it right down, and that's another dot ball. Great bowling from John B. Michael Westhoff really needs to connect with 1 year to at least pass that 150 mark. 2 balls left in the over. Hellenic are 145 for 6. John B doing a great job here towards the back end of this innings. Puts more pace onto that. That's straight up. Who's under it? That's a great catch. Just outside the 30 yard. And that's a much deserved wicket for John B. Hellenic are 145 for 7 now. Oh, not a great last over for them. Haven't really got away. That's much to the credit of John B. Great bowling by him. Assisted by his teammates out on the field. New batsman in the last over. Could go one of 2 ways. I think this is going to be the last ball of the game, of the innings. just an option but to heave it now. Luke, the new batsman, in, and he takes a swing at it. They scurry through for the one, and they run again for the second. Poor decision making there by the wicketkeeper, but that gets them through to 147 for 7 after the 20 overs.
Yeah, well done to Hellenic after being 5 down for 50 odd to reach a commendable score. 145 should be 147 as the final score from the 20 overs. So it's 7.35 and over. St. John's need 148 runs in their innings to win this match. We'll have a 5-minute break and then we'll go into the St. John's innings. Well, here we are at St. George's on the Sunday, the finals day. Hellenic batted, scored 147 for 7. St. John's will be coming to start their innings with needing 148 to win this game. Hellenic will be confident in their bowling lineup with some good pace headed by Luke van Zyl. And then the Patel brothers. And then there's Matthew Skonkin with his spin. So it should be a very exciting finale to this game. Because I need the quiet just to put some adverts in. Luke van Zyl will be spearheading the opening attack from the school end. Just waiting for confirmation of the St. John's opening batsman. And that's a fantastic start for Hellenic. First ball, Kieran Blucknote is out. Luke van Zyl started as he started yesterday. Great to see the energy and a great catch. Just watching the replay, ball scooped up, fielder coming in and dives to catch it just off the ground. Fantastic start for Hellenic. St. John's immediately under pressure. The other opening batsman is Takuzwa Nduku. Just the starter that Hellenic would have wanted. How you doing? Very impressed with this young man, Luke van Zyl. I've seen his progress over the last few years. Bowling on the nets, a performance hub. A lot of adults will fear facing him. Luke comes in, right arm over, right on the line, well defended by the batsman. New batsman in is Michael Blucknote, Kian's brother. These are the twins of Andy Blucknote, famous Zimbabwe legend. Just a weight cut straight to the fielder. No addition to the score. Luke van Zyl comes steaming in. Tempted cut right through the field, right through the wicket. Lovely to watch. Schoolboy cricket at his best. And obviously St. John's strategy when they started has been changed by a wicket on the first ball of the game, of the innings. Required run rate 7.66. Luke van Zyl comes in. Holds the ball slashed away to cover and taken in the taken at mid wicket in the covers. Fantastic catch, and that's the end of Michael Blichnout. St. John's 0 for 2. Oh my goodness! Well, it looked a great shot, but the fielder took the catch and then slightly slipped it and managed to recover it. That's 2 wickets in the first over of the game, exactly as yesterday. But great fielding, and that's 2 great catches of fielders coming in and diving, supporting the bowler. St. John's 0 for 2. Looks like John Bernardi is a new batsman. John Bernardi, highest runs 53, average 14.82, strike rate of 61.74. Luke van Zyl comes in, bowls the ball on the line and middle stump out the ground. Middle stump out the ground. Oh my goodness, 0 for 3, St. John's. Who would have written this script? Oh my goodness. Absolutely sensational from young Luke van Zyl. There's our future champion of Zimbabwe cricket. I'm sure there's a proud dad, Craig van Zyl, watching in the crowd. Fantastic bowling from Luke. New batsman coming in is Luke Wright. What is going through his mind? What is he thinking? St. John's on the ropes here at 0 for 3. How do you even begin to start recovering when your opening batsman Tukudzwa has watched his batting partners come and go in the first over?
Yeah, great first over there for Hellenic. If you notice, the first 2 wickets of the game were brought about by amazing catching in the 30-yard, and that's the difference between good teams and great teams here in this tournament. Hellenic taking their chances and taking them well. It's put them in a great position now. St. John's are 3 wickets down. They need to get off the mark soon. New bowler, Matthew M needs to assist his partner on the other side. Starts off with a great ball. It's a shout, but nothing comes of it. Hellenic are up here. If you feel the atmosphere in the ground, it's electric. All the fielders are up for it, supporting their bowlers. That's how it should be. Dot first up for Matthew M. Great start. Good Yorker. Tukudzwa Nduku on strike. What's he going to do here? That's a full toss, but it's not put away. It's a no ball. Free hit. First one for St. John's. They'll need to do well to put this away. Good opportunity for them. They're under pressure. Both the Hellenic opening pair are bowling extremely well, but they've been gifted a chance here. What's Takudzu Nduku going to do? Pitches it short, but goes behind everyone, and it just runs away for 4. That was a much needed boundary for St. John's College. Wasn't in control of the shot, but gets through anyway. It's a bit of luck for Takudzu Nduku. He's off the mark now. St. John's, now 5 for 3. Matthew M runs again under a bit of pressure. Pitches it short, and it's well defended by the batsman. Another dot ball. It's very evident. Hellenic are quite a well-drilled side. Brilliant fielding, at least from today. It's helped everyone in the team. Everyone's up. Energy is up. They're up for the game. They're backing their players, and it's really good to see. That's a wide ball. Just straying. Bowler's under a bit of pressure now. Just a no ball. Boundary now wide. St. John's are just getting into this game now. Takudzu Nduku on strike. Bit of movement up here. First up in the power play. That's another wide. Matthew M started off well, but now is struggling a bit. Needs to get back into that good line and length that he was on in the first ball. Given St. John's College a bit of breathing room here. Bit of time to breathe. Matthew M needs to correct himself now. Runs in. It's another wide. Great take by the wicketkeeper though. But another wide from Matthew M. After a good start, it's just slowed down for them. Keeping the run rate ticking for St. John's College with all these extras. Matthew M needs to get back to where he was. That's a better line from Matthew M. That's a dot ball. T20s, all about creating pressure. The first over, Hellenic created quite a great deal of pressure and they were rewarded for it. Now, almost the opposite is happening. Hellenic almost creating pressure for themselves, allowing St. John's right back into this game. It's another wide for Matthew M. Needs to get back into that ideal line. He's straying a bit. Maybe his action's collapsing a bit, allowing his hand to stray off that center line, which is the result of all these wides. St. John's College will take every one they get though. Still 2 overs left in the over. Still 2 balls left. And it's driven straight to the fielder. No run there. Bit of a better line from Matthew M. Bit all over the place though. Bit of a fuller one, that one. I think he just wants this over to be over and done with. That's a better ball, Yorker. No run there. And that's the over. St. John's College. Now, I believe 9 off 3. 9 for 3.
Yeah, back to what we experienced on Friday with a number of wides that were being bowled. Youngsters, supple, lean, plenty of time to practice, should be second nature. But under pressure in a big game, you've just seen your striking partner Luke take 3 wickets, and obviously you want to do the same, puts extra pressure on yourself. But Sir John's now 9 for 3. And the deadly Luke van Zyl coming in again. He's certainly a find of the future. I would hope to see him playing at competitive international cricket for Zimbabwe in the next few years. Comes into bowl. Again, line and length. Luke Wright faces the ball, plays it into the covers. No addition to the score. Current run rate is 4.15. 139 runs needed off 107 balls. Again, well fielded. Score stays at 9 for 3 in the third over. Luke van Zyl comes steaming in over the wicket, and that's going to be a no ball. That's a free hit for St. John's College. They'll take anything they can get at this stage. Luke van Zyl probably striving for a little bit of extra pace. Comes and bowls to Luke Wright. That's a free hit, and that's whacked away, and it's going to be heading towards the boundary to long on, and that's 4 runs. That's punishing the bowler for a no ball. Score goes to 13 for 3. Still 4 balls to go in this over. 3 balls, should I say. Not quite sure what happened there. Bowler came to the crease and didn't bowl the ball. Dead ball declared. Bit of mind games going on maybe. Scores on 14 for 3. Line and length. Beautiful bowling by Luke van Zyl. Umpire just checking the number of balls left in the over. Luke van Zyl comes in, bowls ball over the wicket, and that's hoiked away. That's going to be 6 runs off his legs, pulled away. Fantastic shot from Luke Wright. Takes the score into 20, and this is damaging Luke van Zyl's figures. It's now 3 for 11. At one stage he was 3 wickets for no runs. St. John's fighting. These two need to be in the middle for the next 10 overs and put themselves within striking rate going into the last 7 overs. Luke van Zyl needs to end the over on a high. Comes in, running up, over the wicket. Bowls the ball, well played by Luke Wright. And that's the end of the third over, score 20 for 3.
Cricket, a game of ebbs and flows, perfectly highlighted by the electric start that Hellenic had. But now it seems that St. John's are on top. That's a great ball there. Yorker. We've seen a few of those from Matthew M. Starts off the over well. That's a dot ball. Takuzu Nduku, 4 off 8 runs. Needs to pick it up here. Matthew M had a bit of a mare in his last over. Wants to rectify it now. Oh, that's a better line and length there for Matthew M. That's a dot ball. Takuzu Nduku tried to swipe at it, but to no avail. Matthew M already 2 dot balls in this over. Much better line and length from him. Putting pressure right back onto the batsman. As he runs in again. It's flicked away this time on the leg side to find leg. Picks it up nicely and throws it in. It's 1 run. 1 run here off his first 3 balls. Matthew M. Much better over so far. 3 balls to go. 127 runs needed now in 99 balls. St. John's College 21 for 3. Luke right now on strike. 10 off 7. Three balls left to go in the over. Oh, it's a close one. But no wicket, says the umpire. It's a dot ball. Much better over here for Matthew M. Much better line and length, attacking the stumps. Bit of pace, keeping the batsman guessing. Just with the movement of this game, Hellenic right back in it now, creating quite a bit of pressure here. That's a wide one. Back to his old ways, Matthew M. Straight a bit off his line this time. It's a wide ball. Has to re-ball that one. Current run rate 5.73. Required is 7.78. You need 127 and 98 now. Good over for Matthew M. Needs to finish it off well. Follow on, doesn't go anywhere. It's another dot ball. Luke Wright just getting himself in, taking his time. Time will tell whether that's a good strategy or not. A field change now. Short. Fine leg is brought in. Mid on is sent to the boundary. That's a slow one. And was a bit full, but he's lucky to get away with it. That's the end of the over. 22 for 3 after 4 overs.
Morning. So Luke Van Sale now, starting his 3rd over. St. John's 22 for 3. Luke comes steaming in. Umpire holds him up, batsman not ready yet. Just some updates. CBC on the other field scored 151 all out from 19.3 overs. St. George's College 10 for no wickets in 2 overs. Ideal chance for St. George's to redeem themselves. And then we got Prince Edward scoring 160 for 6, and Churchill in their first innings 25 for 2 in 4 overs. What a game that will be. Churchill obviously looking to advance the scoring. Should be an interesting encounter. Yeah, it's 22 for 3. Correction, 26 for 3. Scoreboard's just ahead of the game there. Luke Van Zyl comes steaming in, bowls the ball short, played out into the covers by Tukudza Nduku. I suppose position between point and cover point. Luke Van Zyl comes in, bowling to Tukudza. Again, same shot into cover point. No run. Tukudza Nduku on 5, Luke Wright on 10. It's important that these two build a foundation for St. John's to stand any chance. Already the required strike rate 7.88. We're into now the 5th over. Luke Van Zyl comes running in, bowls the ball. Well defended by Tukudza. No run. The bowler's right up next to the batsman, picking up his own ball. And that's important, what I've seen with Luke. He runs in, he follows up right up the pitch to avoid any chance of a quick single, any chance the batsman's out of his crease. That's a great thing to whoever's taught him, between his dad and his coach. I think that's a valuable lesson for all the fast bowlers to learn. And that's played away through point. And that's going to be down to the boundary. That's 4 runs to Tukudza. Tukudza Nduku goes to 9 from 14. Luke Van Zyl steams in. Ball played to cover point. Well fielded. 30 for 3, St. John's. Luke Van Zyl figures a 3 for 15 so far. Coming in over the wicket, bowls the ball. Well played by Tukudza. Looks very solid batsman. Correction, the score is 26 for 3. We need to get a message to the scoreboard. Scoreboard just announced the score is 26 for 3, not 30. And that's a lofted drive now by Luke Wright. Matthew over pitched the ball. Luke Wright on the drive over the bowler's head. That now takes the score to 30 for 3. Luke Wright on to 14. 122 runs now needed from 90 balls. Strike rate required 8.13. So St. John's are going to have to keep up the momentum. Hellenic are going to have to try and stem the run rate after such a magnificent start. At what brings you back to watch cricket, you never know what to expect. 3 wickets in the first over. Matthew Martel coming into bowl. And that's hooked again around the corner. Fielder there, just a single. 31 for 3 now. Luke Wright up to 15. Takudza Nduku on 9.
St. John's right back in it. All things considered, a decent start. Matthew M. under a bit of pressure. Reaches for it. It's not rewarded. That's a dot ball. Bringing it back now. Matthew M. Tukudunduku 9 off 16. Not the greatest strike rate in the world. Needs to help his partner on the other side. Matthew M has really tightened up his line and length. As he runs in again. And that's a wide. I've come to know that specific wide for Matthew M today. Again, straying from that center line, it's another wide. Every run counts here for St. John's College. Takes the score to 32 for 3. 3 runs left in the over. D guides it to the leg side, wants a single. His partner says no. And they are not rewarded with a single. Bit of a scare for St. John's College. Needs to be better communication between the batsmen there. One batsman wanted the run, the other said no thank you. After all of that, it's another dot ball. 2 balls left to go in the over. To leg side, but that's a single now. Finally gets Luke Wright on strike. Score now 33 for 3. Last ball of the over. Matthew M has really brought it back. Better line and length from him. Luke Wright is a dangerous customer. And he flicks that away. Will we get 4 for that? And that's great fielding in the deep. Definitely saved 4 runs there. And the batsmen only get 2 for that. Brilliant work in the field. Take the score to, I believe, 34 for 3. And that's after 6 runs, 6 overs.
You're going to have a change of bowling here. Going to the 7th over. Matthew Skonkin is coming on to bowl with his spin. Luke van Sale figures 3 overs, 3 wickets. Luke Wright on 17 from 13 and Takudza Nduku 10 from 19. Comes into bowl. Nothing to report on that. Looks like he's bowling a leg break. That's attempted swing away, but misses completely. Score stays on 35 for 3, going to the 7th over. Not sure quite what's happening here. Bowler seems to have have a slight strain of a muscle. Not quite sure here. We're still trying to find out what's the issue. Looks like the batsman. Takunda Nduku seems to be the one that's a bit of a problem. First aid is attending to him. All seems to be resolved. Better to take precaution. You don't want having a slight niggle which becomes worse. Amazing what a bit of doctor's water does. You watch football games, the guys fall all over the ground in aching pain. A minute later they're back on the field, all good. Won't mention Man United's game yesterday against Tottenham. Soundly beaten 2-0. Great to see Tottenham reviving a huge stadium with massive support. Man United need to lift their game big time. Matthew Skonkin comes in. Takuda, normal resumption. Just blocks the ball. No addition to the score. Comes into bowl, flights the ball. And that's right through the batsman's defence. Unfortunately misses the stumps. Well taken by the wicket. Score stays at 35 for 3. Matthew comes in again, slightly quicker delivery. What I like about the spin bowlers, getting through the overs at a quick pace. Matthew comes in again, bowls the ball, forward defensive, down the wicket. And that's now the end, now the 7th over. Score is 35 for 3 after 7 overs. Luke van Zyl 3 for 15, Matthew Martel 0 for 20 on 3, and Matthew Skonkin 0 for 1 after 1 over.
Great start there by Matthew Skonkin. It's a maiden, which is rare, T20. Yeah. Score now 35 for 3 after 7. Went for more spin bowling here. Seems to be effective. Ronak Patel now is introduced to the bowling lineup. Hellenic have really slowed down proceedings here for St. John's. Luke Wright on strike. It's a great start. Bit of pace there. Spinners finding some purpose in this pitch. Tries to slash it. Gets it through to mid-on for 1. Come back for 2. Does so. Just makes it. It's good running from St. John's. Saw the opportunity. Took it. It's 2 vital runs for Luke Wright. Gets it in the gap again, does Luke Wright. Gets a single for it. Luke Wright really getting into his innings now. Demands Tagudzo and Duku to do the same. Oh, bit more bounce on that ball, but it's wide nonetheless. The batsmen, come back comfortably for 2. So 3 runs from that. Patel a bit frustrated. Needs to correct his line here now. And that's a better line. Rewarded with a dot ball. Tagudzo and Duku struggling to find some runs here, but heaves it down to the deep for a single. Ronak Patel bowling reasonably well, all things considered. Luke Wright back on strike. That's a great ball. No, says the umpire. It's another dot ball. 42 now for a loss of 3 after 8 overs.
Going into the 9th over. St. John's College 42 for 3. Matthew Skonkin coming in for his 2nd over. Boulder Maiden in the first one. Toss that up, and that's lofted over long on, and that's going to be 4 runs. Just falls short of the boundary. Takes Takudzwa up to 15, and the score to 46 for 3. I'm impressed with Takudzwa. A nice solid bat. Hasn't taken any chances. Waiting for the bad ball. And giving St. John's a fighting chance. So first runs off Matthew Skonkin's bowling. He'll be watching, making sure he pitches the ball up and played off into cover. Cover fields it. Good backing up there. Just a single. Takes the score now to 47. After the sensation of the first over, 3 wickets, St. John's have now fought back beautifully. So these two should be 3 runs short of their 50 partnership. And that's a massive hit there, sailing over the boundary. Luke Wright, that's 6 runs. This boy's got his iron now. He moves on to 26. The score, that's 50 up, and the 50 partnership, 53 for 3. Just watching the replay, the camera trying to keep up with the ball. Massive hit over the sponsors' tents. Matthew Skonkin, having made an over, has been damaging his figures here. Luke Wright plays it off the front foot. To extra cover, no point, no run. 53 for 3 now, after 8.4 overs. Conker now comes in again. Luke Wright on the front foot. Sharp call for no. It's one of the things I've realized watching this cricket is the decisive calling. Yes is a yes, no is a no. Carl Matthews Conkin again. Faster ball, but down slightly wide. An appeal, but umpire's not interested. And that should now be the end of the 9th over. St. John's 53 for 3, 11 extras. With Luke Wright not out on 26 and Takuzum Duku not out on 16.
Runak Patel back into the bowling attack. Luke Wright going well, but it's Takuzun Duku on strike. Finds the gap, that could be 2 runs in the deep. And as they come back comfortably. Takuzun Duku really warming up to his innings here. Bit too short from Runak Patel there. Have to pitch it up. And that's in the gap. And that is a 6. Oh, it's a great hit by Takuzun Duku. And it's evident that he's really picking up his innings here. Rewarded with a 6. Great shot through the leg side, piercing the gap. That'll really help St. George's chances. St. John, sorry. Great shot in the deep, the gap. Runak Patel under pressure now. 8 runs off his first 2 balls of the over. 4 more to go. St. John's now need 87 runs now and 64 balls. Fielding change now. Cow corners move slightly squarer. Pitches it up. Straight to the fielder, no run. That dot will help him out a lot. Takuzun Duku now 24-32. That's another hit straight up. And he's rewarded with a 4. Straight down the ground. Ordered too much flight there. Was in the arc. Takuzun Duku said, thank you very much. That's 4 more. Great shot through the center. Coaches always say that's a great area to score runs. Big gap through the center, doesn't hurt. Rewarded handsomely with a 4. Takuzun Duku now up to 28. Pitches it shorter, hits it up but lands safely. He scurried through for a single. Brings Luke Wright on strike for the last ball of the over. It's been a good over here from a St. John's perspective. And just guided down. No one there. They'll get 2 there. So that's a great over there for St. John's College. Score up now to 68 for 3 after 10 overs.
That's the halfway mark. It's 80 runs needed from 60 balls. Run rate required 8 per over. Just to go around the grounds, the different fields. CBZ 151 all out and 19.3 overs. St. George's in reply after 8 overs, 53 for 2. And Prince Edward 160 for 6 in their 20 overs. Churchill 50 for 4 after 9 overs. So those 2 games, bit early to predict, but a massive effort from St. George's to try and reach the score. And obviously Churchill are behind the game on their game against Prince Edward. That's great fielding there by Rishak Patel. But I could see Takunda Nduku is starting to raise his game. The run rate is it's a great strike. Matthew Conkin again, played off the back foot, through cover point. Nice and easy single. And she just lost his lady. Key lady, so we can't, Matthew Conkin coming in again. Toss the ball up. Appeal for LBW and he's given out. Given out by the umpire. It'll be interesting to watch that. That's Luke Wright out. There's never an LBW decision that the batsman's happy with. Watching the replay here. Matthew Skonkin coming in. Just trying to get a gauge. Looks online. And that, yeah, I can't argue with that. Looks pretty straightforward. Umpire's got a good view. And that's the fall of the fourth wicket for St. John's. Breaks an incredible partnership between Takudzwa and Luke Wright. 77 runs needed off 57 balls. It's a breakthrough that Hellenic needed. St. John's are going to have to start rebuilding a partnership again. Just waiting to see who's the new batsman. Try and close the door. Matthew Skonkin, Connor Lovett's the new batsman. Had an excellent bowling spell. Plays the ball back to the bowler, stops it with his foot. Shakes his foot down. It's obviously a bit more painful than he had bargained on. But that certainly stopped at least one, but maybe two runs. Matthew Skonkin comes to the ball now. Pitches it up. It's hooked around the corner. And, oh, dropped. Dropped on the boundary there. Oh, my goodness. That would have been a nail in the coffin, I would have thought. However, he did stop the ball going for a 4. Or possible 6. And that's a lofted drive now. And that should be over the head. And that's 6 runs from Takudzwa Nduku. He's taking no prisoners. It's decided the onus is on him to get St. John's a fighting chance to reach the score. It's the end of the 11th over now. End of Matthew Skonkin's 3rd over. His figure's 1 for 21. And it leaves Takudzwa on 38. And Connor Lovett just come in on 1. 78 for 4 after 11 overs.
Takudzwa Nduku's really picked up his innings, started slow, used that time to get his eye in, and just to hang in there, it's paying dividends now. Patel back to ball his 3rd over. Score 78 for 4. That's driven down for a 1 in the deep. St. John's needs 70 now. Better ball from Ronak Patel. That's a dot ball. Those dot balls becoming ever so vital as the game goes on. And he heaves it. Doesn't go exactly where he wants him to. Goes to middle, long off, sorry. That's another 1. Connor Lovett on strike, the new batsman in. Bit more pace there, but defended well by Connor Lovett to dot ball. Connor Lovett, who did extremely well with the ball. And he hits it high, lands just safe in the 30-yard. No one's there. Connor Lovett scurries through for a single. Was not in control of that shot, but gets lucky. Brings Takunzo and Duku back on strike. Respects the ball, blocks it. It's another dot ball. It's the end of the over. Not too much damage there for St. John's College. Score now 81 for 4 after 12 overs.
So 8 overs left. Run rate required, 67 runs required and 48 balls. Sorry, just please close the door there. There's noise coming through. Ronak Patel, 3 overs, 0 for 25. Takuzo Nduku is batting very well, 39 or 40 balls. And Connor Lovett on 3 from 5. This is going to be a very interesting stage of the game. 8 overs left. Hellenic's going to have to really bowl well to hold back these batsmen. 67 runs required and 48 balls. And that's massive, pulled out. Didn't quite get hold of it. They're going to run 1. They're certainly going to get 2. Fielder descending on the ball. Well fielded there. The young Mr. Macon. Matthew Skonkin coming in again. Ball's a bit short. Batman off the back foot punches it into the cover. Fielded. Getting through these overs pretty quickly now. 3 runs off the over so far, which is playing in Hellenic's favour. Connor Lovett trying to play his iron. Matthew Skonkin again, that goes right through the batsman and misfielded there. And that's going to be 4 runs. 4 byes. What is that? Off the body. Straight back down the wicket to the bowler. Score I think is 87 for 4. And that's beautiful ball, last ball of the over, last ball of Matthew Skonkin's spell. He's had his 4 overs. St. John's should be, I think, a score 87 for 4. Really impressed with Takuzo Nduku. What are your thoughts? Seems very solid bat and exactly what St. John's needed coming in as opener. He's played his game and he's put St. John's in a fighting chance.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Takuzo Nduku. Really stuck in there. Really put his hand up to say, I'm going to stay here through the end. He's had some big hits as well, but also has a rotated strike with the partner that he has. He's on strike now against Matthew Skonkin. No. Patel, sorry. That's driven down for a 1. Apologies. Now Takuzo Nduku is on strike. Guided down to short third. They steal a quick single from them. Ronak Patel. His 4th over. Done decently well. Connor Lovett now on strike. Still a relatively new batsman, trying to find his way. Heaves it towards long on, and that's straight over. That's a big hit. Connor Lovett Saw the length. It was in his arc, and he took the chance. Was rewarded for it. That's 6 runs. It's a great shot. Hit straight through the ball. Good hand speed. That's 6 runs. Takes the score to, I believe, 94 for 4. 96, sorry. No.
Good to see some spectators, seeing the TV coverage. Ground starting to fill up a bit. Parents mainly, I would imagine, watching their sons play cricket. But it's certainly a great atmosphere here. Music in the background. There's 3 games going on, and the 2 other fields also, including the main field. And it's going to be an interesting thriller, this one. Faster ball from Patel back to his fielding. Gets through these overs pretty quickly. Patel again. Or that plays attempted cut. Goes through the wicketkeeper. Current run rate required 8.18. So far there's 7 off this over. And that's back to the bowler. They're going to take an easy single. Apologies, there's still the graphics on the previous over. Trying to get to grips with the score here. It's going to be the other part of the Patel brothers. Number 10 for Hellenic. Comes into bowl to Connor Lovett. Umpire declares the ball dead. Patel comes into bowl. That's over pitch, and that's hooked up. It's high, it's long, and that's going to be 6 runs over long on. Connor Lovett taking no prisoners. Hellenic St. John's strike rate's going massively up. Over pitched and thumped over long on. Massive 6. Comes in now. Patel again. Slower ball. Squirts it out. Results in 1 run to Connor Lovett. Exactly the energy that St. John needs. Great all-rounder we see with Mr. Lovett. Great to see for the future of the game. Patel comes into bowl, or more of a line and length, punched off his toes by Tukuzwa. Just an easy single. Keeps that scoreboard ticking. 104, looks like 105 now for 4. Hellenic are leaking runs. The bowling is not as tight as it was. This is going to be a bit of a thriller, I think. Patel comes into bowl. Slightly over pitch, punched out straight to cover point. Ball hits him on the knee, limping a bit. These are runs that Hellenic can ill afford to lose. Patel comes into bowl again. Again over pitch, punch, straight drive. Long off comes on, picks up the ball. Just an easy single. It's a runner ball on this over. More than a runner ball, shall I say. These are runs that are putting St. John's in with a fighting chance. It's up to the captain of Hellenic now to put word to the bowlers, the fielders. Comes into ball now. Right on the line, the stumps punched again. Kind of love it. Lovely looking rhythm with the bat. That should be the end of the over. Scoreboard's ticking along. Looks like it's 108 for 4. After 15 overs, 11 extras. 8 runs required per over. Current rate is 7.2. 40 runs and 30 balls. The game is on. At 0 for 3, St. John's were up against the wall. They've pulled it back magnificently to give themselves a fighting chance. To Kudzanduku on 46 from 46. Connor Lovett on 23 from 17.
St. John's have done incredibly well to pull themselves back from the position they were in the first over. A big thanks to Kudzanduku, who's off on 46 off 46. Connor Levitt, however, is on strike. 40 runs needed and 30 balls. Very gettable for St. John's College now. Move mid off to long off. And slash down to the leg side through the gap. Will that be 4 runs? It's saved by the fielder. That's great work down in the deep. Restricts them just to 2 runs. That's great work out there. Every run counts, especially at this stage. Connor Levitt still on strike. 25 off 18, great figures. Tries to heave it through the leg side, that's a wide ball. Has to re-ball that one. Does Malachi Harry. Very crucial point in the game, yeah? The batsmen want to go. Bowlers want to restrict the runs. Double steps, gets lucky, goes behind him on the leg side. Batsmen run for 2, will they come for the 3rd? No, they will not. St. John's just ticking along, edging ever closer to that score of 148. Malachi Harry. Tries to block it, bounces straight up and is caught by Malachi Harry. That's a big wicket. It's a big wicket of Connor Lovett. Just tries to block it, bounces up. And that's a great catch for Malachi Harry. And that's another twist in the tail now. St. John's College 5 down now. After a brilliant wicket, brilliant catch from Malachi Harry. Diving catch. And Hellenic are right back in this. Johns need 38 from 29 balls, but a new batsman comes to the crease. Very eventful over so far. Really spiced things up here. Exciting end. Malachi Harry really needed that wicket. He's gotten his tail up and so is the rest of the team. It's going to be a very exciting end here. New batsman comes to the crease. High pressure situation. Malachi pops it up again and it's dropped. It's dropped. Needed that wicket. Did Hellenic. Malachi Harry created another chance. Hit in the 30-yard in the circle and it's dropped. Disappointing. Hellenic, their fielders were excellent in that first over, but have just thrown it away a bit. That's another wide, adding insult to injury. Really needed to take that chance, but didn't. And that's a big turning point in the game. New batsman's been given a second life. It'll be interesting to see what he does with it. Malachi runs in again. Tries to heave it to the leg side, but it's a dot ball. Maybe a bit of frustration from that throw as well. And that is the over. Eventful over for both teams. It's getting exciting now.
Yeah, just give you some updates on the outer fields. CBC batted first, 151 all out from 19.3 overs. St. George's College in reply, 114 for 2. 6 overs to go. Looks like they're on track there for a win. And then Prince Edward, 160 for 6. Churchill in reply, 84 for 6 from 14 overs. So it's going to be an uphill battle for Churchill. And Prince Edward are more than likely to win that one. That square cut beautifully out to the fielder, easy single. That's the end of that over. Just waiting for the confirmation. Looks like it's 114 for 5. Got younger brother of Ropak Patel. Bit of a medium pace. Moves the ball around a little bit. Done some magnificent fielding on the boundary for Hellenic. Patel comes in again to bowl. And that's punched out to the fielder. That extra cover. Picks up the ball. No addition to the score. Patel comes in again. Lovely arm action, slow ball, miss hit. Batsman swipes at that, tries to play an almighty shot to go through the wicketkeeper. Remember, these dot balls are just adding to the increased run rate for St. John's. Captain from Hellenic talking, keeping everybody on their toes. Patel comes in again, running up over the wicket, puts the ball down, and that's hooked away. Fielder coming underneath it, and that's beautifully taken. Beautifully taken. That's the end now of the 6th wicket now for St. John's. Yeah, Mr. Macon is a fielder there, fielding on the boundary. took it such with class and ease. St. John's now on the back foot now. 115 for 6. Into the 17th over. Pressure is going to build. That's 3 dot balls so far in this over. That's the first wicket yet for, I think it's Kuvesh Patel. Trying to remember the pronunciation of his name. New batsman for St. John's, number 12. Just trying to get names. Kulinani and Duku, looks like it's Takudzo's brother maybe, or cousin. Takudzo on 46. Dhruv Patel is the name. That ball goes down wide. Glanced off the legs by looks of things. They're going to run 2. Declaring that a dead ball. Not sure what the reason for that was. 9.43 runs required. 33 runs from 21 balls. It's going to be a tight finish. Dhruv Patel comes in again. Runs into bowl. Now that's over pitched and that's swung around the corner. They're certainly going to get one. Young Macon's coming in. Bit of a live wire in the field there. Not only a good batsman, but also a live wire fielder. Just a single. Score should go up to 116 for 6. Dhruv Patel coming in again. Balls, and that's the line of stumps. Batsman was shaping up to a big shot from Tukudzwa. And that's in now the 17th over. 33 runs required on 21 balls. That's 11 and over.
Game's just heating up now. You'll remember Malachi, his last over, quite eventful. Sure to be the same the second time around. Cole making very particular changes to the field. Oh, it's a shout. It's not given. Batsman scurried through for a single. Malachi Harris has put his hand up to board the latter stages of the innings. He's done well so far. Created a couple of chances. Flick towards the leg side. They could get 2 for that, and they get 4 for that. Pierced the gap perfectly. Good weight on the shot. Scurried through. 50. And that's 50 for Takudzoa Nduku. He's played so well. He's hung around. He started slow, but he picked it up. And with a couple of great shots, takes him to his 50. Well played, Takudzoa Nduku. Finishes it off with a lovely shot. Lovely flick towards the leg side for another 4. St. John's need 31 now off 17. Great strike rate of 104 by Takudzoa Nduku. Tries to cut it away this time, but he misses. Malachi Harry really needs to hang in there for his sake and Hellenic's. Takudzu and Duku wants to run away with it now. And he tries the heave, it's up, but it will land safely. And the batsmen run back for 2. It's more runs. It's more runs. If Hellenic wants to win this game, they need to take those chances. Malachi Harry creating them. But to the dismay of Hellenic, Takudzu and Duku still on strike. 3 balls left in the over. Tries to heave it again, but misses. It's a good comeback from Malachi Harry. It's a dot ball, very vital. 27 needed off 16 now. Malachi Harry just needs to hold his nerve. Bowling to an informed Takudzu and Duku. Wants to hit it over the fence. Stops his run up. Maybe disrupted. Wants to be very, very particular with where he pitches it. Doesn't want to give Takudzu and Duku any free runs here. Pitches it up. Duku hits it to long on. Want to come for the second, but don't. So that's a single. It's a good end to the over for Malachi Harry. Takes the score to 123 for 6 after 18.
So match summary, 19 fours. Okay, just a quick update. Extra 17, score 124 for 6 over 18 overs. Pick of the bowlers, Luke van Zyl, 3 for 15. He was the pick of the bowlers so far. He's got one over left in the gas. Looks like he's warming up to come in and bowl the penultimate over. 24 runs needed in 2 overs, 12 runs and over. Going to be big pressure on the batsman. Going to have Kulekani and Duku. I'm assuming maybe it's older or younger brother or twin of Takudzu. It's going to be Dhruv Patel coming into bowl from the school end. He's going to be bowling to Takudzu and Duku. Looks like a change of decision. Looks like it's going to be Luke van Zyl. He was marking his run out on the other end. Captain must have had a word in his ear and said, no, you're going to bowl from the school end, the penultimate over. I can understand the reasoning with 2 overs left. Get Luke van Zyl to put in a blistering pace, line and length, and restrict the runs so that it puts a bigger total required in the last over. Just want to look out on the ground there and see the number of spectators now sitting on the stand or on their chairs. Some of them looking for sunshine. It's a nicer, bigger crowd than there was yesterday. Great atmosphere. Sponsors, cabs, big shout to them for their corporate tent and all their branding. It wouldn't have happened without them. And then all the affiliate sponsors, too many to mention, but all playing their part in making this weekend a big success. Luke van Zyl comes steaming in, right arm over pitched, and that's thrashed up in the air. Fielder behind, and there it is. That's a wicket. But that's declared a no ball. That's declared a no ball. Free hit was over pitched above the waist. Unfortunate for Hellenic. Bit of a warmer upper from Luke. Umpire wants to change the ball. Obviously, the ball's got a bit of damage. Waiting for somebody to get another ball. There's an option. 124 for 6. 2 overs to go. Kulekani and Doku has not got off the mark yet after 3 balls. Takudzu 53 from 52. He's going to be the standout batsman of the St. John's innings, having batted from opener. Luke van Zyl now ready to come in. Change of a ball. Umpire's happy. And he comes. Long run up. Steaming in. Gets the wicket. Bowls the ball on line of length. Dug out. Dug out by Tukuzwa. Out to point. Picks up the ball. And they're through for an easy single. Takes the score to 125. 23 runs left from 11 balls. Correction, 21's required, 21 runs required from 11 balls. Luke van Zyl comes running in. Pitches it up. That's thrashed away just down the stumps. Luke van Zyl picks up his own bowling. They go through for an easy run. Got to keep that scoreboard ticking. 21's now required from 10 balls. 2 runs a ball. Luke van Zyl walking back to his mark. 3 for 19 off 3.2 overs. What's going through his mind now after his first over, 3 wickets? What he would give for another wicket. Comes into bowl. Puts the ball short. Wide. This is indiscipline now. Indiscipline now from Hellenic. They've got this game by the scruff. They just need to bowl tightly. Pitch the ball up. Let the batsman do the work. That's 19 required now from 10 balls. Not only are you giving away a run, but you're also giving that extra ball required in the over. And he comes, runs up bowls. Umpire gave it a look at that one. Umpire gave a look at that one. No addition to the score. 128 for 6. Luke van Zyl coming into bowl to Kulakani and Duku. Runs in, pitches it up, and that's thrashed in the air, fielder underneath it. Oh, and that's dropped. That's a terrible drop for such an accomplished fieldsman. Bowler will be furious with him. His head hanging down. I've watched this youngster in the field. He's been electric, and that is an absolute sitter. I can imagine how he's feeling. His teammates will be looking at him and saying, how did you miss that one? But that's cricket, which makes it such a game that we all love. Never know quite what to predict. Luke van Zyl comes running in again. Bowls a ball. Thrashed away. That's down the field to Longhorn. Longhorn picks it up. Slight misfield. And there's that hesitation again, resulting in an extra run. Hellenic cannot afford this. They cannot afford these misfields. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that's 17 required. Should be from 8 balls. Luke van Zyl comes steaming in over the wicket, bowls the ball. Batsman leaves it. He's trying to encourage the umpire to give a wide. That's the end now of the 19th over. Going to be very interesting to see what St. John's require in the last over. 132 for 6. 15 runs from the final over seems to be the target. Who is going to bowl this over? Big pressure on the bowler, whoever that might be. Drop catches, lose matches, and that's the unfortunate part. We've seen some fantastic catches. We've also seen some, I don't know how to describe it, some simple sitters. Go back to basics. Put yourself under the ball, eyes on the ball, hands close together, bring it into your chest. But pressure is a big thing in sport. You must have felt it playing at first team level here at St. George's.
Yeah, I did. Playing on this main field, you feel the pressure. You sometimes forget the basics of the game. But as far as catching goes, positioning is crucial, you know. If you get yourself into a good position, you're giving yourself the best chance to catch the ball. And I don't think Hellenic have done that. Towards the latter stages of this game. But we're in the final over now. St. John's suddenly have a lot of work to do if they have any chance of winning this game. Hellenic want to make sure every detail in the pitch, every fielder is where they need to be. Spending as much time to do so as they need to. Here we go. Slow one. Hit up, straight up. Who's under it? And it's just short. And the batsman hurry for two. Fielder in the corner. Maybe he didn't see it. Maybe he didn't want to risk it, but that's 2 runs for St. John's College. 13 off 5 needed now. It's a full toss, but it's not put away. Still could get 2 though. Bowler runs in hard, throws it to the keeper. Just makes it for 2. Just makes it for 2 runs. It's a short run signaled by the umpire. So that's 1 run. 14 off 4. Exciting end. But St. John's need boundaries now. 2s aren't going to be enough. As this game goes on, they need to find the fence, and they need to find it soon. Pressure's rising for both the batsman and the bowler. Fielders need to help out their bowler as much as they can here now. And he tries to slash it to the offside. Hits it straight to long off. Comes back for 2 again. It's an overthrow, and they're going to run away again for the 3rd run. They might get 4 here. And what's the umpire going to say? He's made it. He's made it. That's 4 runs off that ball. Through some poor fielding, some poor backing up. Maybe the throw was a bit wayward. And St. John's find 4 runs in the pitch. 8 off 3 needed now. Hellenic losing their heads a bit. They need to focus now. Simple things. Throw the ball straight to the fielder. The other fielders need to back up. They need to help themselves. But they've given St. John's quite the lifeline here now. 8 off 3 needed. And it's bowled into the arc, but it's put away, and it's 4 runs. What a great shot, dug it out. Looked a bit of a Yorker to me, but the batsman, great hand speed, dug it out straight down the ground, and that's 4 more. Great shot by the batsman. St. John's are right back in it now. Hellenic have handed them this lifeline, and St. John's have taken advantage of it. Ball pitched up, batsman hit straight through the ball, down the ground. 4 needed now from 2. And it's in John's hands now. Slow one, and it's hit straight up. Who wants it? It's dropped short again, and they get 2 for that. Should have gone for it, some may say. But he lets it bounce. And the batsmen scurry for 2 more. St. John's need 2 now from the last ball. It's all happening here. 1 run for a tie. 1 run for a tie. 2 to win, 1 for a tie. Ball was hit straight up. Fielded it all he can to run up to it. But it dropped just short. And St. John's in the driving seat now. 2 from 1. And if they get 1 run, it's a draw. Taking their time here are St. John's College.
Extreme excitement here on the ground. Potential of this last ball has many connotations. 2 runs for a win for St. John's. A wicket could put everything in place. 1 run for a tie. What happens then? We have maybe a dead over. 6 balls each to see who the winner is. Or we could have a wicket and which wins the game anyway for Hellenic off the last ball. Big pressure on young Dhruv Patel. But I must say, drop catches, drop catches, drop catches. 2 sitters dropped by Hellenic in this innings. And especially by Dhruv Patel, who's been, for me, one of the fielders of the tournament in the boundary there. To drop that sitter would have put St. John's under huge pressure. But that's why we love this game. That's why it brings us back, why we watch it. The excitement in the crowd. You can hear the muttering going on. People standing forward watching this last ball. It could be a 3-way, a good-way decision. A win, a loss, or a draw. Dhruv Patel comes in now. He warns the batsman. It's a dead ball to say you're out of your crease. Bit of sportsmanship there, putting a bit of pressure on the batsman. 2 runs from 1 ball for a tie. What do? Do you bring your fielders up to prevent the single and avoid it going over their heads? All on the bowler's shoulders. Comes in to bowl. Puts the ball down, over pitch. That's stumped away. And it's taken by a Hellenic fielder. And that's the victory for Hellenic. Off the last ball, the batsman is absolutely grief-stricken. And that wins the game for Hellenic. Great jubilation here. The Hellenic fielders busy congratulating the bowler and the fielder. Fantastic pressure. St. John's batsmen are still kneeling on the pitch. Can't believe it. Takudza Nduku, 68 from 59. Well batted, that young man. Equally supported by Kulakani Nduku, 5 from 8. And this is what makes schoolboy cricket so exciting. Huge excitement in the ground. Yeah, that was high pressure. And it just shows you the ebbs and sways of the game. Moody, what do you think of that one, mate? Talk about pressure.
Yeah, I know. Tell you what, you've got to give it to that batting pair because they just pretty much ran all of those runs. But then, yeah, Hellenic, cool, calm, and composed, taken right at the end. Exciting cricket, that arguably the best game we've had this entire weekend, going right down to the final ball. But, yep, congrats do you go out to Hellenic. Probably will make the final now. Just going to wait the result of this next set of fixtures.
Yeah, thanks, Moody, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate with you. We just wait to see who Peterhouse are now going to face. But great win there for Hellenic, and I must congratulate both sets of players. Played the Peterhouse Falcon in the next game. But this game was played under great pressure and great excitement. Just absolute pleasure to watch. Standout player Takudza Nduku for St. John's. Great batting, solid as a rock. Just unfortunately fell short at the end. Then obviously bowling Luke van Zyl, sensational first over, 0 for 3. Had St. John's at no runs for 3 wickets. And we thought the game would be over within a couple of overs. But shout out to St. John's, fantastic recovery. Hellenic are going to do probably a walk of honour, lap of honour. They're heading towards the boundary here. That's where the parents are gathered. But fantastic to watch.
Yeah, great game. Great game, full of ebbs and flows. Hellenic started off in an electric fashion, but they brought Johns back into the game. Through to Takudza Nduku with a brilliant innings, and it went right to the wire. But Hellenic just held on, took the catch they needed to. Great game.
Yeah, so now we've got hopefully another nail biter. Previously unbeaten Peterhouse, going to be playing Falcon. Somebody needs to tell the Falcon boys they're playing with a rugby ball, not a cricket ball. I think maybe they're in the wrong season. If they can win cricket matches by playing the rugby ball, then I'm impressed. But yeah, great game. Centre field, the crowd is growing. It's going to be another thriller.